Sup nerds, welcome back to my channel. My name is Maddie. If you're new here, hope your day is going well. This is the second time that I filmed this video because my camera, my $500 camera, likes to record with no sound. So if I seem a little agitated, that's why. This is going to be my best books of the year. I was going to do an elaborate video for you guys, but as you can see, that's not going to happen. So we're going to just talk about the top 5 favorite books that I have. One of them is technically a series, but we're going to do that briefly here now for you. But first, a word from the collaborator of this video. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. This is a video in collaboration with Flexispot. Flexispot was kindly gracious enough to send their Calm Hair standing desk with drawers over to me, and this is how it looks. It is a gorgeous wood finishing, and it is perfect for any millennial professional. The desk drawer is spacious for all of your random junk, and the tools to move up and down are incredibly easy to use, unless you're me. I have to press the right button. That helps. But if you're not me and you happen to know how to press a button, this is a very, very simple system. And you can go from doing your Excel work and your email work to your gaming as quickly as just toggling over and sitting down into your nice comfy chair for some games with the friends. Can't deny also having the 2 USB ports and USB-C is also super clutch, so I don't have to worry about anything dying, my headphones or my phone. And also this storage space in this drawer is absolutely fantastic. This desk is also spacious for my 2 laptops, as you can see, as well as the knickknacks that I've acquired. And this isn't the final desk setup, but I'm very excited about it. It's also a really easy setup, so much so that the person helping me didn't even have thumbs. Just kidding, this was clearly just the supervisor. It really only took about 10 minutes of time to actually put together. It was a fantastically easy process to do. Thank you again to Flexispot for collaborating with me on this video, and back to your regularly scheduled content. Diving headfirst into my best books of 2024, we have Maeve Fly. This is an extreme horror romance, and I mean that very, very seriously. This follows a woman who works for an undisclosed theme park in California, and she has some very interesting urges. I don't feel like I can give you really any more than that, but I do want to very much say this is not a dark romance. It is not glorifying the acts that this person is doing. It is very much a horror novel. And there are a lot of very violent acts in this book, but it is also romantic in its elements. But I just feel like there is such a prevalent rise in dark romance where people are like, it's supposed to be horrific, but it's a romance and they're gonna get together in the end. While somehow glorifying the horrific acts that take place in those books, whereas this book is not doing that. There are triggers, you should definitely be mindful of it, but it's one of the best thrillers that I've read in a very long time, and I highly recommend it if you happen to know best practices when looking into content like this. Moving right along, we have On Tyranny. This is a very short book that I read after a certain not great event happening in the United States of America, and it is very, very poignant. It is very relevant right now as our government tries to strip away our free speech and our access to platforms that have the ability for us to mobilize. Even though the book community doesn't like to mobilize about getting things done, they just like to attack people for no reason. But this book was something that really struck a chord with me and has really inspired me to use my platform in a very different way than I have been for a while. And I'm very excited to see what I can do in the next year. So please bear in mind that I do have a very busy life and will probably not have great consistency on my main channel. But if you are looking for more content from me, definitely check out my Patreon. I plan on posting there at least weekly, especially for the newsletter tier that I have. And that is where I plan on kind of keeping you guys updated on my progress and my journey, where I'm going to be going with in the new year. So obviously hit that notification bell if you want to see all of the free content that I will have, as well as my second channel that I will have linked down below. I will also be using Storygraph and Blue Sky to keep connected because I do want to foster community here, but I will be holding back no punches at this juncture. So thank you very much for listening to that little spiel. Well, let's get back to the books. Following that, let's talk about the only trilogy that I have on the top 5 books of the year, top 5 spot. This is going to be the Live Ship Trader series. I am a Robin Hobb stan. The hype is real. I wasn't really convinced after the Farseer trilogy. The final book in the Farseer trilogy really did sell me on the world. But this is where things start actually mattering to me. And I know that there's like a lot of people saying like you either like Fitz or you don't, which he's like the main character of the rest of the series. But this is where things actually started kind of coming together for me. The characters in this series and the world building in this series is just so fucking good. And I don't know what it is about 90s high fantasy writers, but they just are so much better than the fantasy schlock that's popular nowadays. And that is full offense. Like I'm actually quite like amazed at the stuff that comes out nowadays, like excepting for some of my favorite books that I'm going to be gatekeeping at this point. You guys don't need to be able to read my favorite books other than like my top few. What you said. This series is so good, and I am itching to start the next series in this world, and I'm so happy that there's like 16 books because I know that this is going to take me a while to get through, and I am just very, very excited. Also, these are floppy paperbacks, and that just makes me very happy. But I will hopefully be doing some kind of Patreon read along for this, or in my Discord if you guys want to actually read something good. We can talk about this series because, oh my god, there are characters that I bonded with in this series as they grew, as they explored. Some of these characters enraged me in ways that I haven't experienced in a very, very long time. And I'm just so interested to see where else this world will go. And I can only imagine that Robin Hobb will pull out my heart by its fucking shoestrings. And I will enjoy every minute of it. Now for something completely different, we have A Long Time Dead by Samara Breger. This is a sapphic vampire romance, and it is actually sapphic. It is really, really good. The prose in this is fantastic. I read this from the library and immediately needed my own copy because I want to annotate this. The way that this writing is so lyrical and so beautiful, it just really moved me in a way that I haven't experienced in a long time. That's the other thing, is like a lot of my favorite books this year have become actual favorites. Like really, like this is going to become like has a solid spot in my top 10 because I absolutely loved the characters in this this book. It is a standalone to my knowledge. This follows Poppy. She is forcibly changed into a vampire, and her first reaction to that is hysterics because she knows she's not going to be able to eat real food. And that's just such a relevant thing. Like that's such a real response to be turned into a vampire. Like, are you fucking kidding me? The fact that like most vampire books don't have like at least a single iota of mourning for their real life is just crazy to me. But it's about the caring that this other vampire does for Poppy in her transition. And it's such a heartbreaking and touching story about these two women who do not know how to have real relationships. Lost a light there, but we figured it out. So now we're back. But as I was saying, this is such a fucking fantastic book. I will say that the ending was a little bit wasn't as triumphant as I wanted. But what this book does is really look at the found family and the just camaraderie of having a life that has pretty much no end. And though I felt like the villain could have been better developed and more explored, I do think this book did exactly what I wanted it to do and what I needed it to do. And I highly recommend it, just sheerly based on the fact that the way that these two characters talk to each other is so fucking beautiful. Highly recommend. Hey guys, so sorry for the iPhone quality all of a sudden. My camera just decided in the middle of that clip to stop recording audio. I have no idea why. We're gonna fix the audio situation in the new year. I do promise that. I don't know what the fuck the problem is, but let's talk about my favorite book of the year. And that was Blood Over Brighthaven. This is the third time I've talked about this book this morning, and I am done. I'm tired of it. This is a really good book. It follows Siona. She's kind of a dumbass, but she's a girl boss. She's going to be a high maid. And then it's a story about how everything she knows about her world is completely wrong, and she's actually living in a very racist society. Who would have thought? If I'm coming off a little bit like aggressive and frustrated, it's because I'm tired of a lot of things in the community, and I will be making a video about that. But this was one of my all-time favorite books this year. It has a huge impact on me. I was sobbing during the first chapter, and I will be reading more M.L. Wang coming in the new year. Sword of Kaigun is definitely on my radar, but sorry for the quality. I hope that this video isn't quite as rough as I feel like it probably is. So I'm gonna go. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please leave down below your favorite books in the comments. But as I said, go ahead and check out all of my links down below in the description. And also thank you once again to Flexispot for my desk. Really, really appreciate them. I am very, very excited. But once again, thank you guys for watching. Like, subscribe, all the good stuff. Bye!